If you want to look up a value in another table, you might merge tables to achieve this. But if you use list functions, you can do both exact match and approximate match lookups faster and in less steps. Phil's going to show you how. Take it away, Phil.
The key to doing this is remembering that table columns are lists, and as such you can use list functions to manipulate and access the data in them. Let's start with an exact match. My sample data is this table of sales on different dates for different types of food and drink. This table is named data, and what I want to do is add a column showing the category for each item. These categories are stored in a separate table on the category sheet, and this table is called categories. I've loaded both tables into Power Query, and I've set the categories table to load as connection only because I don't need to output anything from that table. So let's open up the Power Query editor and see what we need to do. The data query, which holds the food and drink, needs to look up the product in the categories table and return the category for that particular product. Looking up any product in this product column will return a row index, which we can then use to index and return the value from the category column. So let's do this step by step. We'll start by adding a column and a custom column, and I'll call it category index. And using the List.PositionOf function, I want to look up in the product column of the categories table, and I'm looking up the product in the current row of this data table. The numbers in this category index column correspond to the position of the products in this column in the corresponding product column of the categories table. So looking at apple juice, which is the first row here, you can see the category index is 0, so it's the 0 or the first item in the list. Remember that lists are indexed from 0. And in the categories table, we've got beverages as the first category. So if we look for some more drinks here, so we've got cappuccino, chai, and chamomile. You can see that those indexes are 1, 2, and 3. And just double check back in the categories table. We have cappuccino, chai, and chamomile. And now that I have this index number, I can use it to look up the category. I'll add another custom column and call it category, and I want to look up the category column in the categories table. And in order to return the value for the corresponding index, we can use the curly braces, and inside that use the category index value. Click OK, and we have our new column showing all the categories for each of the products. Let's do a little tidying up. We don't need the category index column anymore. And I'll reorder the columns, dragging category over beside product. But before I'm done, I can actually make things a little neater. I like to reduce the number of steps in my queries and code where possible. You can see the first custom column I created. All this is doing is returning a number, the index in the categories column that corresponds with the category for the particular product. And in the next step, I'm taking that value and using it to look up the category in the categories table. We can actually remove this step altogether, but first let's just copy this out. And then in our next custom step, replace category index, which is just a reference to a column that we don't really need. So I'll delete that. Replace it with the code I've just copied from the previous step, and we end up with the same result. All I've done really is nest one step inside of another. So I'll delete that first added custom step. Yes, get rid of that. And because I've deleted the step that created the category index column, this step here where I actually remove the category index column, I don't need that either, so get rid of that. And I've just removed 2 entire steps from my query, so I can now load this back into Excel. Next, let's look at an approximate match, and to do this I'm going to use this table of sales figures for various salespeople and add a new column showing the bonus rate they'll get for those sales. The idea being that you multiply the sales amount by the bonus rate to work out the bonus that the salesperson gets paid. Make sure that the bonus rates table is sorted in ascending order on the threshold column. And it's important to note that the first row in this rates table has a row with zeros, and the reason for this will become clear later on as I explain how the lookup query works. As I've already said, the bonus rate is determined by your sales amount. So if you sell $10,000 or more, but less than $20,000, then the rate is 0.1. If you sell $20,000 or more, but less than $30,000, then the rate is 0.15, etc. So with both tables loaded into Power Query, let's open up the editor. So obviously what I have to do here is look up these sales amounts in the bonus rates table, but this time I'll be using List.Select to create a list of all the values in the bonus rates table less than or equal to the sales amount. The number of elements in this list will then be used as the index to look up the bonus rate. As an example, let's use this first value, 17,606. If I check the bonus rates table, you'll see in the threshold column there are two values that are less than this, 0 and 10,000. So if I create a list containing just those two values, 0 and 10,000, then there are two items in that list. I can then use that value 2 to return the rate 0.1. So let's start creating our steps. We're going to add a column, a custom column. I'm just going to paste this code in and then I'll explain what exactly it is doing. So I'm using the List.Select function to create a new list from the threshold column of the bonus rates table, and this list will contain every value that is less than or equal to the value in the sales column of the sales data table. This underscore is shorthand for the current item in the bonus rates threshold column. Now in the first part of this code, I've used a let statement to create a variable called val that holds the current value in the row that we're on in the sales column. If you placed the reference to the sales column here where I have val, you'll just get an error. So doing it this way avoids those errors. So if I just go through this again and explain, I'm saying create a variable val and store inside it the value of the current row of the sales column, and then use that in the List.Select function. And List.Select is going to create a list, and it's going to create that list from the threshold column of the bonus rates table, and that list will contain every value in that column less than or equal to val. Well, if that has melted your brain, let's just click OK and see what it creates. If I click beside the word list in the cell, you can see here the actual contents of this list. As we looked at earlier, the value 17,606 has two values less than it, 0 and 10,000. Just double checking here in the bonus rates table. For 9,238, the only value less than that is 0. For 10,000, we get 0 and 10,000 because remember we're doing a less than or equal to comparison. For 32,455, we're going to get 4 values, and so on. So with this list, I can now count the items in the list and use that to look up the bonus rate. Add another custom column, call it bonus rate. And as with the example of the exact match, we just need to refer to the column in our lookup table, which is bonus rates. And we're looking up the value in the rate column, and we access that value using the curly braces and the index to that value, which is given by List.Count. And we're counting the number of elements in the custom column. But don't forget that lists are indexed from 0, so we need to just subtract 1 here. Click OK, and there's the bonus rate column. So just to double check, 17,606 here in our first row is given a bonus rate of 0.1, which is correct. 9238, which is less than 10,000, so that bonus rate will be 0. Let's just check another one down the bottom. The last row, 40,560, we've got a bonus rate of 0.25, which is correct. I don't need this column anymore with the list in it. And that's it, done. I can now load this into Excel, or I can add another column if I want and actually calculate the bonus amount, which is simply sales times bonus rate. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I've shown you two ways to do VLOOKUPs in Power Query using list functions. The first one, an exact match, and the second, an approximate match.
Well, I hope you found this technique useful. You can download the file for this lesson from the link here. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more. And why not share it with your friends who might also find it useful. Thanks for watching.